my YouTube friends! YouTube has officially put a limit on how many live streams you can run at the same time. And the number is 10. Which admittedly sounds like a problem for someone with significantly more ambition than I currently have. Because most of us are trying to get people to watch one live stream. But there's actually a second limit here that's much more interesting. You can have up to 10 active streams on a channel, but only 3 active streams can use the same stream key. Now, if you're like me, you didn't even realize that you could have more than one stream on the same stream key. So this is news to me, but apparently you can have up to 3. And those 2 limits are enforced at the same time. And if you've been experimenting with 24/7 live streaming, automated streams, cloud streaming, or running multiple events from the same channel, you probably want to know exactly how this works. Because no, 24/7 streaming isn't dead, but there is now a wall, and we finally know exactly where it is. This actually started back in February. YouTube announced that it was going to reduce the maximum number of concurrent live streams a channel could broadcast. At the time, the important part was basically that limits were coming. What we didn't really have was the actually useful part, like, well, what sort of limits? But YouTube's current documentation now gives an actual number, 10 active live streams per channel, and 3 active live streams per stream key. Now, those are 2 different limits, and understanding the distinction is where it gets interesting, at least to somebody. When you stream from something like OBS, YouTube needs to know where that video is supposed to go. And that's what your stream key helps to do. Think of it as the connection between your encoder and your YouTube stream. YouTube even lets you create custom stream keys and reuse them for future streams. But now there's a very important number attached to that key, 3. So let's say I'm running 3 feeds. All 3 can be active, but try adding a number 4 using the same key, and it's not going to work. You've hit the stream key limit, even though the channel is still nowhere near its total limit of 10. This means saying, well, YouTube allows 10 streams doesn't really tell the entire story. So let's make this unnecessarily complicated using basic arithmetic. 1 key gives you 3 streams. 2 keys will give you potentially 6 streams. 3 keys will give you 9. So then you will need a 4th key to get that last stream. And we're done. Because although that 4th key could theoretically have room for more connections, not according to YouTube. The channel has hit its 10 stream limit. So the easiest way to remember this is 3 per key, 10 per channel. Whichever limit you hit first wins, which is honestly a slightly strange way to use the word wins. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, I have literally never needed 11 simultaneous YouTube streams in my life, congratulations, you're normal. For the overwhelming majority of individual streamers, this probably changes absolutely nothing. You're running OBS, you're streaming your game, you're talking to your viewers, maybe you're simulcasting somewhere else. One YouTube stream is still one YouTube stream. Carry on. But that's not the part of live streaming that's been getting, well, interesting lately. I've been talking more about 24/7 streaming because there are now services that let creators run pre-recorded, automated content continuously without leaving OBS running on the computer at all. And once you start thinking about streaming that way, one stream very quickly becomes multiple streams. Maybe you have one 24/7 podcast stream, one pre-recorded content stream, one live event, and then you want to go live just normally to talk to your audience. Suddenly, the number of concurrent streams actually matters. But here's the important bit. One 24/7 stream is completely unaffected by this limit, obviously. 2, totally fine. 3, once again, still fine on any single key. It's when you're building a larger system of simultaneous feeds that you need to start paying attention to how those feeds are configured. So despite what I'm sure at least 12 thumbnails will claim over and over this week, YouTube has not killed 24/7 live streaming. YouTube put a ceiling on the number of active streams you can have on your channels. Personally, I don't think a limit of 10 live streams at the same time is killing anything. I think it's pretty many. A lot. More than likely, more than most people will ever even think about using. Where this gets much more relevant is for people operating channels more like broadcast networks. Churches with multiple locations, sports organizations running several games, government or education channels covering simultaneous events, companies managing multiple live productions, and creators building networks of automated 24/7 live streams. Those are situations where 10 concurrent streams really isn't an absurd number anymore. And the 3 per key restrictions may actually be the limit you run into first. Because you could have 4 feeds, a channel capable of 10, and still fail to start number 4 if you're trying to use the same key, because you don't understand what the limitations are. So if you're managing multiple ongoing feeds, stream key organization suddenly becomes something worth paying attention to. Fortunately, this isn't particularly difficult. YouTube supports creating custom stream keys. So if you're running multiple simultaneous streams, don't treat one stream key as the key to the entire streaming empire. Organize them and even rename them. If you've only got one stream, you don't need to do anything. Seriously. You do not need to rebuild OBS because you watched a YouTube video. I know, even my videos, it's very disappointing, but if you're planning 4 or more simultaneously, you need to make sure those streams aren't all relying on the same stream key. At least not if they're running at the same time. And no matter how many keys you create, once the channel itself reaches 10 active streams, that's it. Stream 11 isn't starting. And by the way, if you have 10 completely separate, personally named stream keys for each stream, and that's how you want to do it, fine. You just can't have more than 3 streams running on the same one stream key. Now, the obvious question is, why? And this is where I'm not going to pretend YouTube sent me an email explaining its infrastructure strategy. The help documentation tells us what the limits are. It doesn't give us some grand explanation for why those exact numbers were chosen. So anything beyond that is speculation. Maybe this helps YouTube manage abuse. Maybe very large numbers of automated feeds were creating a problem. I mean, we do have a lot of bots these days. Maybe 10 concurrent streams simply covers the legitimate use cases YouTube wants to support without allowing effectively unlimited broadcasting from a single channel. I don't know. And unless YouTube gives us more information, anyone claiming they definitely know is guessing too. What we do know is that YouTube announced the reduction earlier this year. And now the documentation limits are 10 per channel and 3 per stream key. A few years ago, how many simultaneous live streams can my YouTube channel run? Would have been an incredibly strange question to ask. Now, it's apparently something that we need documentation for. So, 10 active streams per YouTube channel, 3 per stream key. Whichever limit you reach first stops you from starting another one. For normal streaming, it's probably irrelevant. For multiple 24/7 or automated streams, it's definitely something that you need to know. And I'm actually more interested in the bigger question. Do these 24/7 streams provide enough views, subscribers, and watch time to be worth running in the first place? Because I now have a way to actually test that. And when I have enough data, We're going to find out together. Are you running multiple live streams? Let me know about it down in the comments. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better live streamer or YouTuber, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Fire Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.